What's up, Hobby Jogger Nation? I didn't even plan that. I was just running and the camera was running. So there we go. That's the new intro. There's no more bada boom, bada bang. I'm just going to start running down the driveway straight to the camera. So I'm on day 4 of this Nike Pegasus Premium 100-mile week. I honestly kind of hate doing these 100-mile weeks because then I just have to run in the same shoe over and over and over. But somebody's got to do them, I guess. Or maybe I'm just the only one demented enough to attempt doing something like that. We're now at 64 miles. So it'll be over soon. It'll be over at some point. But I thought it would be a great time to do a deals roundup. I have not done one of these deals roundups in a while. And running in the Pegasus Premium, it's a $210 shoe. I reviewed the Under Armour by Speedland Infinite Mega, the collab, last week. $250 shoe. A lot of my favorite shoes recently have been expensive shoes, but there still is some good value on the market, especially if you search out these deals and if you use my discount code to Running Warehouse. So all of these shoes here are some of the best deals on the market, and with the 10% discount, you can get them cheaper. And by the way, all these links are in the description below. And to get the code, if you want to get the additional 10% off, which for some of these shoes, if it's a $200 shoe, 10% off could be $20. Sign up for the Supwell app, which is also in the description below. It's $5 per month. So if you end up liking the app, you can get your value back with one shoe purchase, right? All right, let's get into it. First off, let's go cheap or lowest in price to highest in price. And again, not every shoe has to be super expensive to be a good shoe. There still are some nice basic shoes out there. So first one, Adidas Supernova Rise, $90. Now, this is not the most exciting shoe in the world, but it is one of the most comfortable shoes out there. Nice, comfortable upper in the back, great padding on the tongue, and decent stability here. This was a shoe that I put, 30, 40 miles on last year. Very solid treadmill pick, and it's one of those shoes where if you were just looking for a basic sneaker that's comfortable, it's great. It's a lot better to me than the standard Pegasus. They actually had the standard Pegasus on Running Warehouse with the discount code for a similar price as this, maybe $5, $10 more, but this would be my pick. This versus the Pegasus. More comfort, the cushion is better, the foam feels livelier and softer and more supportive at the same time. The upper fits better than the Pegasus. Nike probably takes it for the look, but the feel of this is great. Downside is the 10mm drop, but if you're a newer runner or you're an aggressive heel striker, it doesn't matter as much. This is just a solid pick for someone who wants comfort and support. And at $90, man, you can't go wrong. There's a few different colorways of it too. All right, next up, there's a few at $98 here. Yeah, 2 at $98. 2 awesome ASICS shoes from last year. We have the Nimbus 26, $98 with the Supwell app discount code, and the Nova Blast 4. So let's start with the Nimbus 26. This is actually my preference of 26 versus 27. They just updated the new Nimbus. It came out a few weeks ago. It's a lot softer and it feels like more cushion. They've swung it back to what the 25 was. The 25 was a super soft, compressive shoe with a large chunk of foam on the heel. It feels like a big floaty boaty type of shoe. The 26 overall feels more streamlined, and it's still soft, it's still supportive. It's not a firm shoe, but it's streamlined and it's firmer than the 27, and it feels bouncier. This was one of my favorite daily trainers that I tested in the back half of the year. I didn't put it on my top 5 list. I don't think I put it on my top 5 list. Maybe I did. It's definitely a top 10 shoe from last year. Really comfortable, great support and stability. I also like the upper on here with the nice stretchy tongue. This is a great colorway too. I don't know if they have this colorway, but overall a great comfortable shoe. And if you're looking for a beginner shoe to just get started, this is one of the best at $100. You'll also be able to get a decent number of miles out of this because the foam's not as soft as the 25 and the 27. Will be a good durable shoe and a great shoe for casual use. Again, under $100. For a brand new shoe here. Now, Nova Blast 4, unlike the Nimbus here, I liked the 5 better than the 4. I have about 110 miles on the 5. I had the similar number of miles on the 4. With the 5, they made it slightly softer. They made it bouncier. To me, it feels smoother. With the 4, sometimes I felt that it took 20 to 30 minutes to get it rolling, and this was a very polarizing shoe. Some people loved the way that the underfoot geometry worked. Other people found it choppy. I was in the camp of sometimes I found it choppy. But if you land more up on the forefoot or you put a lot of force down into the shoe, this is going to be great. It has a nice bounce to it, very supportive shoe, one of the most stable shoes out there that's not a designed, designated, specific stability shoe, and it looks solid too. I love this colorway, bunch of good colorways. So $98, one of the best marathon training shoes out there. So if you're looking for one shoe to do all your marathon training or half marathon training and you're on a budget, this is the one I would pick. It's really an awesome shoe for going long runs, an hour, hour and a half, 2 hours. Nice, comfortable shoe. There's not a lot wrong with it once you get warmed up into those mechanics, and it'll just let you cruise. So again, $98 with the Subwell discount code. You don't have to spend a grip on a brand new shoe or new release, new model shoe to get some quality for marathon training, and this just shows. All right, going up in price. Let's see, next one here, $107. I still think this is one of the most comfortable shoes of the 2020s, even compared to the newer releases. One of the most comfortable shoes of all time. Is making every deals list until it gets sold out. The New Balance 1080, and it keeps dropping and dropping and dropping in price. Another one which I prefer to the current model year. I prefer the 13 to the 14. The 14 is also great, but that's $60. $58 at MSRP, more expensive than this now. The V14 is $165. You're not going to find that on sale. This is $107 with the Subwell app discount code on Running Warehouse, which is just crazy. One of the most comfortable shoes. If you need a nice, comfortable walking shoe, I would go ahead and grab this. They also had some on sale on Joe's New Balance outlet for, I don't remember the exact price, probably around the same price or maybe $10 more expensive. In the utility, the tan colorway, those are so clean. And this is actually what I use a lot for casual wear now. I'll take it to the farmer's market, which is why you can see it's starting to get some love somewhere, and I haven't cleaned it up that much. It's looking dirty, but I put 300 miles on the shoe. People say that the Fresh Foam isn't that durable. That was not my experience with it. This was a nice, durable shoe. It held up. I put it through high mileage testing. I don't love going 2+ hours in it just because it's so soft, but for hour-long runs, for 90-minute runs, recovery runs, nice, relaxed cruising miles, this is great. Still my personal favorite soft shoe of all time. Something like the Mizuno Neo Zen, that's gonna feel bouncier. This is not an energetic shoe, so if you're looking for something with some pep and range, this is not gonna be it. But if you just want a nice cruise recovery shoe, this is gonna do a good job. The other shoe that this reminds me of is the Brooks Glycerin Max, but that's $200 and that has a lot more cushion. That feels like so much more shoe on foot than this. So $107, bada boom, bada bang, crispy 1080 V13. All right, next up here, I think we're going up in price again. Yeah, going up in price to $116. Another shoe which I found so much better in the previous generation than the current, the Brooks Glycerin 21. Man, that new DNA tuned foam and the Glycerin 22 just did not work at all. It does not feel similar to the Glycerin Max, and it's just firm in the forefoot. The forefoot is so firm. Now, if you're over 250 pounds, you might like it. I actually had some people tell me, hey, I'm 250 pounds, I'm 300 pounds, and I like the feeling of the Glycerin 22. I still argue that there's just so many better shoes on the market for what that does. And if you want a 10mm drop platform with some bounce, support, comfort, this is the option to pick. $116, which again is $50 cheaper, $49 cheaper than the MSRP of the new version. So this has the DNA Loft V3 foam. This is one of the best training foams on the market. It's a supercritical EVA. It's got some nice pep to it. It's really bouncy once you start getting it going, and I love this in the Ghost Max 2. I loved it in the Brooks Ghost 16. I loved it in the Adrenaline GTS 20, what was the one I reached Manchester, 24. It's all around an awesome foam. So if you're looking for a workhorse shoe, if you're looking for a workhorse shoe that's gonna get the job done and last for a long time, that's the Glycerin 21. All right, next to $121, we have two that came out right around the same time, two that are $180 at MSRP. I actually did a emergency deals video on these when they first started hitting the deals rack about a month after they dropped, and now they're both at $121, which is $59 cheaper, roughly $60 cheaper than MSRP. That is a 33% discount. And when these both dropped, I said, bro, do not buy these at full price. They're overpriced. And now would you look at that? These colorways on Running Warehouse are a third off. So Adidas Ultra Boost 5X. Similar to the Glycerin Max in that it's a nice cruiser, reliable 10mm drop type of shoe. It's more fun than the Glycerin Max. It'll also last a long time. That's what this beaded TPU foam will do. And if you're a fan of Adidas, this is a good looking shoe. It also does have the Continental rubber on the bottom, which is one of the, at least on this gray part, which is one of the grippiest rubbers out there. Great for the winter. Looks great, nice and bouncy, great for bigger runners as well. And it's one of those shoes where if you just want one shoe to do everything, you don't want to mess around with a big fancy rotation, this will get the job done. Pegasus Plus, on the other hand, this does not feel as cushioned as the Ultra Boost. Ultra Boost is a shoe you could use as that marathon training shoe if you really just wanted one shoe and you like that higher drop feel, so with the heel elevated versus the forefoot. This is lower to the ground. This is more streamlined. This is a speed training shoe. I personally don't love going over 6 to 8 miles in this. I wouldn't be taking this out for a 2-hour long run, or I wouldn't take it out for even probably not a marathon training tempo style workout. I prefer something with more protection like the Hoka Mach X2. But if you want a fun daily or a shoe to take to the gym, or even you could use this as a casual shoe, but I don't love the upper fit. It is a snug, streamlined, performance fitting upper. But if you want a faster speed shoe for the gym, for some shorter workouts, this would be great. It's not gonna have a lot of foam where you fight against it. And I did that workout earlier this week on the Cielo X1 2.0, where I was doing 200s and 800s, and that is a lot of foam for that type of a workout. This is perfect for that. It's more streamlined, connected to the ground, similar to the Brooks Hyperion 2. So if you're looking for that track day type of shoe, maybe you're a cross country athlete or a track athlete, and you want something for your shorter, faster workouts, $121. That's a really good deal, and this will last a long time. That is the benefit of these Nike shoes with this rubber here, man. This is grip and rip and will last for a while. So Pegasus Plus, $121. That's a really good deal. All right, next up, the last daily trainer of the day, $143. New Balance Balos. Again, another shoe that people were saying was overpriced when it dropped, and now look at that. That's nearly $60 off of MSRP, or $57 off of MSRP, $143 with the Supple app discount code, which is just kind of wild, right? That's pretty wild that you can now get this only 6 months after it dropped. I wonder if it's just not moving. That's what it seems to me. It came out, not that many people were interested in it. It got mixed reviews, so it's not moving. So to me, this is very similar to the 1080. It's almost even softer though, and I don't know. I tried to use it for some workouts and I didn't love it. I did get it up to 100 miles. I did do high mileage days and it was protective, but at times I felt that I was fighting against the foam. And it does have a wide base, but it's not the most stable. It also has a very low drop, so if you're a heel striker and you don't love the feeling of those lower drops where sometimes you have to fight against the midfoot, you won't like it. But if you're a forefoot runner, a lighter runner, someone who's looking for a really comfortable ride, this is gonna be great. It also is decently protective. I wasn't bottoming it out. It's just, it didn't quite hit for me in the same way as the 1080, and it's almost a confused shoe where you'll have to see how you use it. I can't tell you if you're gonna like it as a daily trainer or a recovery shoe, but if you wanna take a flyer on a soft shoe, you don't mind spending $140 on a shoe that you could use for casual use. It's definitely a super comfortable shoe, so if it doesn't end up working for running, you can use it for casual, or you could list it on the Supple app, then I would take a chance on it. But not one of my personal favorites. $140 is a decent deal. All right, last two here. First one, these are both plated shoes. My favorite marathon race shoe. You can now get this for under $200, $198 with the Supple app discount code because they dropped the V2. This is the Saucony Endorphin Elite. And this is a much better shoe for me personally and for the style of marathon that I'm going to run, a fast marathon where I'm attempting a PR. This was great. V2 was almost bottoming out for me with how soft that foam was. It was a really fun ride, but it didn't match my running style very well. I don't have perfect, light, bouncing along 200 steps per minute cadence form. I'm more that midfoot driving stride or even heel stride for the marathon, more to the midfoot for the marathon. But this can support the power I put down. A lot of bigger runners love this if they're going sub 330, sub 315, sub 3, closer to the faster end of the spectrum of that, sub 3, sub 315. If I were going 3.5 hours personally, I would go for something with more comfort. And that's the biggest downside of this. It's not the most comfortable shoe. At some paces, it does feel even harsh. because the foam is not soft, but on the other side of that coin, that's the protection and the pop that you get from that firmer supercritical PEBA, the PowerRun HG, which I actually think they might be doing away with. The PowerRun HG, which is one of the best race foams in my opinion. So I would grab this 198 if you are that sub 315 bigger runner, hybrid athlete looking for something fast for that marathon. The next best choice on the market, or one of the other, maybe even better than this, would be the Puma Deviate Nitro Elite 3. That's not going on sale anytime soon. The other option that would compete with this, more for a fast, higher turnover type of runner, which this actually could do well for that as well, if you like that rocker to pull you along, would be the Brooks Hyperion Elite 4 PB, which I need to do more testing on. But again, that just dropped. You're not gonna find that for under $200. All right, last one up here. I don't even know if I would call this a deal. So I don't know, I guess it's making the video anyway, but it's a deal based on MSRP. So it's the Adidas Prime X Strung 2. MSRP of this is $300. You can now buy this for $225 with that Supple app discount code. It's $250. You put in the code for 10% off. That brings it down to $225. It's still super expensive, but this is a cult classic, at least on the Supple app. It's becoming a cult classic among bigger runners who want a race shoe experience with more foam and bounce for 4-hour runs, for 4-hour marathons. So this is becoming a hit with people who want that cushion, who like that Lightstrike Pro bounce, who don't like super soft foams, and who are strong enough to not care about the weight, because it is a heavy shoe. It's, I think, 330 grams. For context, Saucony Endorphin Elite is, I put it back in the box, but that's 220 grams. So this is a very heavy shoe, but if you can put the force down into it through weight, it's gonna provide a really nice ride, protective, decent comfort, balance. I used this recently for a long run, and I was surprised at how easy it navigated different pace ranges. I was down at 730s, and then I was at 6 flat and 550s, and it handled it all really well. Also, super comfortable upper. So not the cheapest shoe out there, but again, if you're looking for a 4-hour race shoe, or even longer than that race shoe, you want that race day experience with the carbon fiber plate, with the race foam, but you're not gonna want a super narrow, unstable platform, this is a good choice. It has that wide base, it has that tank-like feel, and it's been a hit among bigger runners, especially on the Supple app, who want something fun and supportive for 4-hour marathons. All right, there you have it. Those are the 10 best deals on the market right now. Make sure to use my Supwell links or my Supwell app code if you're on the app. If not, get on the app, and make sure to use my Running Warehouse links below. I appreciate you guys, and I'll be back tomorrow with another video.